Hey everyone, Pastor George here, and as we lead up to Easter this weekend, I think it would be good to change gears a little bit and just talk about some movies, as I kind of hinted at yesterday about things I'm thinking about, and just kind of things that I would recommend. And I think it's important for us to think about movies and other forms of media, just how we interact with them, what are the ways in which they can benefit us or hurt us or whatever. But I think that one of the things that annoys me, and I already made a theolog about this way back, but I'm going to expand a little bit more about it, is how Christian entertainment generally works, which is that it's super uplifting and super corny and doesn't to me mirror real life very well. Now that's different for everyone. Some people like that type of stuff, and that's okay. You can like that. But this week, I want to kind of draw your attention to movies that have kind of been forgotten or passed over by the majority of Christians. And I think the reason they're passed over or not really thought about, besides one, the one at the end of the week, I'm sure maybe all of you, and tomorrow actually, you've probably seen both of them already, but they just need to be, I think, always kind of talked about. But they're generally passed over, I think, because a lot of these movies talk about how faith costs something. It costs us a lot, usually, to be faithful people. And I think a lot of movies kind of, you know, get rid of that kind of aspect and kind of just make it super uplifting and good, and that's fine. But I don't think it's very realistic. So today we're starting with one of my favorites, and it came out in 2016, and it's a movie called Silence. And it's originally based on a Japanese novel by the same name by a guy named Shusaku Endo. And it's about two Jesuit priests who go to Japan to find out where another priest has gone, because he's kind of went silent, and there's talk that he has recanted his faith. And so it's them going to see him, and they suffer the persecution and live in an area that hates Christians, because at the time Japan was closing itself off from the world, and especially from the West, and Christianity was seen as one of the big evils. And so a lot of it is them trying to live in this area where they're Western, so they don't look like anyone, and they're trying to hide and help the people that are there who are Christian. So it's really, really good. And it is all about the silence of God. And is God silent? What type of silence is that when we are suffering and going through things? And, I think I can get you with some of these more sadder movies during this time, because we're leading up to Good Friday. So some of these more cerebral, woe is me type stuff, I think it'll be good for you to think about as we head into Easter, especially with how this movie ends and what one of the characters does to Christ. I think is really, really pertinent. And of course it comes from the novel, but Martin Scorcese does this whole thing really, really well, and it's honestly way better than The Last Temptation or whatever that came out. I think this is probably his best movie that deals with religious themes. So if you haven't seen Silence, go and check it out. It's really, really good. And I will see you tomorrow with a little bit of a lighter film, but still one that I think is important to see. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe.